Hello, welcome back to KXAN Live. Thanks for joining us. Happy Sunday morning. Today we have our first morning weather Q&A with meteorologist Rich Segal, and he's here with me today. Thanks for joining us, Rich. How are you doing?
It's a busy day.
It is, and we're going into a busy weather week, right?
Yes, we are. I want to show a map real quick before we delve into questions. And I've plotted the front that's got this colder air behind, having already passed land passes in the vicinity of Burnett and Marble Falls and south of Fredericksburg. We can see that with current wind speed showing a northwest wind, and we're getting some gusty winds in San Saba, in Llano, and in Mason counties. This front will continue to move into our I-35 viewing area in the next couple of hours, and then it should be clear of Flatonia, Schulenburg, Weimar, and Fayette County by about 2 to 3 o'clock today, and then we must brace for some colder air. Actually, let me show a second map too, because I want to show you what the wind chills are going to be like. This is 9 o'clock this evening. And we're looking at most wind chills in the 30s, but once we get to midnight, we find wind chills falling into the 20s. These are wind chills, not actual air temperatures. And look at these numbers for tomorrow morning between 7 and 8 a.m. Our in-house model is suggesting that we'll have some wind chills in the low teens in some of the hill country. On the whole, mid to upper teens for most of the rest of the area. So we've got the coldest air moving into our viewing area since the middle of January 2024. And
Wow.
This is something that we experience from time to time. So let's answer a few questions and then we'll get into a couple of more maps.
So we have our first question that is, I am new to Central Texas coming from a much warmer part of the country. Is it normal to have these temperatures that get this cold?
It seems like it's becoming a little more normal to get this once a year. We had this in 2021. We had it in 2023 as well. You know, we know coming off of a very warm December by 6 degrees, that's the difference between the mean temperature for December and what actually happened. We have been warmer than normal in several months, but it is, quote, normal to find occasionally we get into these winter chills like we will have this week. And so it doesn't happen too often. And, you know, this may be the only one that we have in 2025, but it's going to happen. We already know that because we are already looking at the numbers. And so it is happening. Now, we will have gone from unusually warm temperatures this morning. Normals are 62 for highs. Will be at 72 in Austin later this morning into the early afternoon, to temperatures well below normal. Normal lows tomorrow morning are in the 40s, but we will be in the 20s for most of our lows tomorrow morning. So it does happen. It's happening now, and it's best to be prepared.
Yeah, and our second question is, what is wind chill and why is it so important?
Wind chill is what it feels like on your skin when you combine the actual air temperature and the wind. The stronger the wind, the gustier the wind, the lower the wind chill. And these wind chills that we were showing you a few minutes ago are going to be quite low tomorrow morning. We had this in mid-January of 2024. We had lows in the teens and some wind chills in single digits. Tomorrow morning, we'll have most lows in the 20s, wind chills in single digits. And the reason it's going to get so cold is we'll have a clear sky tonight. Doesn't look that way now because we've got a lot of cloud cover, but the clouds are going to break later on this morning and will be sunny by the middle of the afternoon to a clear sky tonight. So when you have that clear sky, you lose all, quote, heating, and this will allow temperatures to fall sharply. But the going to be stronger this evening too, and into the overnight. We're going to find a north wind tonight at around 15 to 20 miles per hour with some higher gusts. Thus, the reason for these low wind chills that we'll have tomorrow morning.
Yeah, and Rich, something I've been hearing our meteorologists talk about a lot this past week is wintry weather.
Yes.
My question is this snow? I'm sure a lot of people are asking if this is going to bring snow, and that's our next question.
Yeah, it's partially that way. When we are talking about a wintry mix, we're talking about different types of winter precipitation, snow being one of them, sleet, freezing rain, freezing drizzle, graupel. This is common when you get into a situation like this because there are different temperatures at different levels of the atmosphere. When you're constant 32 and below, like we will see perhaps up to the west, then if there is any winter precipitation, it mostly will fall in the form of snow. But when you have a layer of warmer air, slightly warmer air, where the precipitation is falling in its liquid state, but here at the surface where we are, you have temperatures at 32 or below. When that liquid rain hits a surface, like let's say your car or the pavement, it's going to freeze upon impact. And it makes it difficult, do I want to use that word? It makes it challenging to forecast accurately what kind of precipitation that we're going to have. So with that in mind, I want to go to a new map here. Now, this was created by our guru, our graphics guru, Tommy House. And this shows the different layers of precipitation that are possible. Now, this forecast is for Wednesday night, Thursday morning, and Thursday night, Friday morning. You see in the blue shade, snow. In the pink, that's the mix. It's a little uncertain as to what may happen in an area, let's say, from Milam through Williamson counties on over to Lake Travis and then continuing through most of the hill country. In this area, the Weather Service this morning was forecasting the potential of some snow showers. If we do have this precipitation, once this precipitation starts, and with temperatures expected to be below freezing each night through Friday morning, the risk of winter-type precipitation is there. And especially we feel from Thursday night into Friday morning, and that's when we anticipate having the potential for that wintry mix. As a matter of fact, let me see if I had this other map. Okay, so this is Thursday. This is Thursday during the day. Some of this may be too green. I think that if we see any of this winter precipitation, it may be out San Saba, Mesa, and Lampasas counties. But look what happens as we get into Thursday night to Friday morning. You see some blue in Lampasas and in San Saba counties, so that would be an indication that the precipitation will fall as snow. That pink shade is the uncertainty, and I don't think that, and this is the American model that we're using right now, because the European model didn't have much precipitation in the form of winter precipitation at all. But I think that pink shade might have been better sagging a little further to the south for parts of Milam and Williamson counties in addition to the hill country. And so it is there north and northeast of Austin to west of Austin, where especially Thursday night into Friday morning, the chance of winter-type precipitation seems to be highest.
So more central Austin, we're pretty much going to see more rain? I
think so. There may be a very brief window where there may be some snow showers on Thursday morning early, Friday morning early. But I think for those of our viewers in, let's say, in the Giddings area, down through Bastrop and into Caldwell County over to San Marcos and then east of that area, it looks like the majority of the precipitation should fall as rain if this precipitation does materialize. And it's looking more and more like it will, because we'll have an area of low pressure that, it's raining now. Look at that. Look behind you.
Oh, yeah. We've got
a
some
little
rain on our live
that
cam.
the front is making quick work through the region now, because the rain this morning was going to be east of the front, and it's happening now. So we're getting a little bit of rain. Won't last too terribly long. And then by this afternoon, the sun comes out.
Yes, but we will be feeling those colder temperatures by this evening?
Yes.
Yeah.
Once this front passes, the winds will shift to the northwest. There'll be a rapid temperature drop, so that by about 6 o'clock or so, we will find some hill country temperatures in the 30s already.
Wow.
And for the rest of the area, mostly 40s and 50s. And then by 9 o'clock tonight, I think we'll all be in the 30s.
Wow. Well, I know that you put together a blog on preparations and how people can get prepared. Talk to us. What are some of those things that we should start doing?
It was a little bit more than just the 4 Ps. When we talk about the people, the pets, the pipes, and the plants, we didn't want to just expound on something that most people already know. But there were some things that we added to this, things, for example, like to remind people, because again, We know that there are people that are new to this area who may never have experienced cold like this, but to dress in layers and what's a good middle layer, and for that I have sweaters because I'm a big sweater man. And the type of dress. We talk a little bit about how to stay proper nutrition because you want to retain as much body heat as possible. We also talk a little bit in this blog about making sure that your car is in tip-top shape. Now is the time to go out and fill that tank because you don't want to be standing at the gas tank at 7 o'clock
freezing
tomorrow morning
temperatures
with these freezing temperatures. So we mention a few things about that. And we also remind people to be vigilant about the frostbite and the hypothermia, things to look for, and this is all included in that article. We did an interview, a Q&A yesterday with a gentleman from Covenant Air Conditioning and Heating, which I believe is going to play on Monday morning during CW Austin Morning, if not Monday, then on Tuesday, about the proper protection for your pipes and when you should start that drip and what to look for, how much stress can there be on the pipes before they burst, and is it the intensity of the cold or is it the duration of the cold that causes these pipes to burst? And he also talked about tankless water heaters and what to do with them because there's that element too. So we talked with him, and I'm hoping that it airs tomorrow morning. I'm sure pushing for it. But my day for Q&As is Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesdays. Well, another important thing to remember is if we have cold temperatures outside, a lot of us, me included, like to have our little space heaters inside, and it's important to keep an eye on them so there's no problems with that, right?
Exactly. You must be careful that it's always best to follow the manufacturer's instructions on where to use and how to use and what not to do with them. The unfortunate thing is that we always seem to, around these cold snaps, have some people who don't pay attention to what they're supposed to and who do things they're not supposed to do with these space heaters. And it's just so important to be vigilant and to be smart about it. We do not allow space heaters in the
newsroom,
unfortunately. But there's a good reason for it. Sometimes if they're not properly maintained, they can cause a short, and you would lose electricity, which means you'd lose other heat.
Well, those are some very important tips for everyone to keep in mind during this crazy temperature drop that we're going to see this week. But thank you, Rich, for sharing all those details with us. Is there anything else you want to leave us with before we go?
Stay warm.
Stay warm. It's the best way to do it. Thank you so much, Rich.
You're welcome.
And that's all we have today for our First Warning Weather Q&A. We'll be back next Sunday with another Q&A, and we hope for everyone to join us there. Thanks for watching.